nice. It was okay. I actually did pretty decent. Not gonna lie, I felt at least pretty good about my picks. I still kind of do. Obviously, there have been a lot of upsets since then. Some big time ones that we'll go over. But in this video, we got a second chance. If you don't know ESPN's sort of bracket contest things they have, one of them is a second chance bracket where basically you start at the Sweet 16 and continue making a bracket from there on. So that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be filling out another second chance bracket from the Sweet 16 on, and then talking about the sort of past matchups, talking about future matchups, depending on how well they've been playing in the tournament so far. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. But first, obviously, thank you guys so much for 6K. We're at that point in time where I don't even know when to do a subscriber special video. I guess 10K, which is the goal. I want to hit that. Well, I would like to hit that. It'd be cool to hit that by the end of the year. That'd be really nice, or whenever that ever does happen. That'd be really cool. Obviously, it's not an end goal. It's not anything. It's just if it happens, cool. If it's not, hey, you're here. I'm here. We're still just hanging out, chilling from day one, 4+ years ago. So thank you so much for that. And like the video. If you want to like the video, subscribe to the channel all the way to 10K. And yeah, also at the end of this month, gonna get an F in the comments in the chat. RIP for the daily uploads, I guess you could say. I'm having my wisdom teeth taken out at the end of the month, so obviously then I'm not gonna be able to really talk, whisper, really do anything for probably a couple days. At least I don't know. I've never gotten obviously my wisdom teeth pulled before, but I'm assuming I'm not gonna really want to be moving my mouth a lot when that goes on. So I'm probably not gonna be feeling that great either. So I'm probably not gonna be uploading for maybe a day, maybe two. I'm not entirely sure, but that's the end of the month. So hopefully you guys have enjoying this sort of daily upload streak I've been going on. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I guess actually in real life and also just through YouTube as well. So if you guys have been tuning in every day, I really do appreciate it. I'll probably be going back to my sort of every other day schedule, or even just even back before then when I would just post whenever I wanted to. So it'd probably be more like that. I'll probably be skipping days here and there. It's been a lot, and I know some of you guys, in the comments, I've seen comments of people saying, it's not that big of a deal, just making videos every day, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that, you're just whispering, blah, 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 and it's true, I'm just being myself, talking to you guys, talking to you right now, specifically, and it is, easy in a sense, but also it's very, 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 very mentally draining, for sure, especially having, an actual job, plus this, plus editing, plus always, keeping track of everything, plus social life. Now that, things are starting to open up now, thankfully, it's starting to be a lot. And then, there's also sleep, which I don't know anything about. And even before not knowing ASMR, I never slept. So, just thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have given me. And also shout out to the people who've been buying personal content. You guys are really the backbone of the channel. You guys have really been helping me out a lot, especially just with my microphone situation that's still not taken care of yet. Obviously, I don't want to make it too personal, but obviously, with the surgery coming up, that would also help out a lot with the personal content. So people like Carlos and a lot of other people who probably don't want to be named, thank you guys so much for just being there for me, and I do appreciate it a lot. So if you ever want a personal video, I do everything role plays, traditional ASMR, talking about basketball, teams, players, things like that. I do anything you want. I got you. It's just between me and you. It's just a personal ASMR video. It's really nice. I love doing those. It's my favorite thing to do. So yeah, if you want one, definitely check out the description. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. So let's jump right into tonight's actual video. watch because, like, again, they're Gonzaga. You know, they don't really have a lot of, I guess, competition, if you want to say, when they do play regular season games. So it's nice to see that they, took care of business and they got to where they are and they're good to go for a championship run, which is nice. Then you have them going up against Creighton, which I'm not gonna lie, I did have them getting upset in the first round. Sorry, to I think UCSB, yeah, University of California, Santa Barbara, I think is who it is. And I was wrong. The stats told a different story, and it was actually a kind of a close game until the end. But it was really good, and Creighton actually it was playing very well right now, and I really do actually like the game they're playing after watching a couple of games. They're playing pretty good. Then we have USC, which, guys, I'm not gonna say I told you so, but hey, I told you so. I knew USC was going to be good. They're gonna have a nice tournament run. Does it end here? We will talk more about that. And going up against Oregon, which I guess technically Oregon is only 1-0. Technically only 1-0 because they had a crazy matchup against Iowa. Was it Iowa? Yeah, I think it was Iowa. And wow, who would have thought that Oregon, who didn't even have a first round matchup because I think VCU, someone on their team tested positive, but Oregon having their first game against a crazy matchup and winning and beating a really good team. Obviously, I picked them to go pretty far. Iowa because of the players they had. Big on them. Really good job from Oregon, but they have a pretty tough matchup here. And then in the East bracket, I think it is. It doesn't say on here, but I'm just trying to go by memory right now. We have Michigan, which, big ups to Juwan Howard, who was the NCAA Coach of the Year, I think, first year coaching for Michigan, which is really cool. They're actually playing a lot better. I felt them at a little bit of an upset, maybe brewing when I was picking my brackets in my last video, but they're looking really solid. They're looking like they're being able to compete on both offense and defense, which is how you really become an NCAA champion. It's not just, having great offense, but giving up a lot of points, or, having just defense, but you're just getting scored on all the time, so, and you can't score buckets, so they're looking like almost a complete team. And they're going up against a very tough matchup against Florida State. That's, in my opinion, the toughest one seed that is still in the competition. Is a matchup. I think it's a very tough out. I mean, Florida State has, a championship, potential out of them, at least in my opinion. Like, they're a very wild team, so watch out for them. We have then UCLA, which again, I was right on. I told you guys that was an upset. I knew it was brewing. Whoever came out of the UCLA Michigan State game was going to make it a little bit far. I didn't think this far, but they look good. They're looking like a complete team. They're playing to the UCLA name, which I love. I knew that was going to happen. They're going up against Alabama, which I think is Charles Barkley's pick, I think. I didn't really even know Alabama was, good this year until I, saw them at the end of the year, and I'm like, oh wow, they actually have a good record, having this, having that, so that was really cool to see, but that was really nice to see them win out. Obviously, Ohio State was definitely the one that was sort of the bracket buster for probably a lot of people, especially for me, so then we have the other number one seed still in, Baylor, going up against Villanova, which, again, you have Michigan, Florida State, Baylor, Villanova. Those are definitely some crazy matches. I mean, both number one seeds could go out in the next round, which is totally crazy because Villanova, obviously, championship pedigree dream, still have, I think they still have the same coach, don't they, since that whole entire sort of title runs they were going on for a little bit. They're still a 5 seed. They're still good. They're still capable of winning a national championship, especially this year because it's so crazy and wonky. Who knows what could happen? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs that could go on. Then we have number 3 seed Arkansas going up against Oral Roberts, which, yeah, there's always a Cinderella in every March Madness, and I don't even think I really picked one, which I need to start doing a lot more. I need to pick one team to go far, a double-digit team to make it go far, and I didn't it's a GG. It's upset because Oral Roberts is on fire right now, and I really hate that they gave us this big break from now to the Sweet 16 because I'm sure teams like Oral Roberts and UCLA, teams like that, even Oregon, who didn't even play their first game, are really itching to like keep up their good streak, their good play, their good this, their good the flow of things. It's probably heavily favoring now the higher seeds because they have a nice break. Everything calms down, everything comes back to normal, and then they get to play their normal good basketball. So keep that in mind. We have number 8, Loyola Chicago, which, wow, that was crazy. Didn't they beat, I think they beat the number 1 seed, right? They beat Illinois, didn't they? Jeez. Illinois, that game, they didn't look all that good, which really sucks, but that was pretty crazy. Going up against Oregon State, which, guys, Oregon State, like, who would have thought? Me, obviously being around the area, definitely didn't see either Oregon or Oregon State ever making it this far, which, good on them. They're doing great, but, wow, that's definitely super crazy, super cool to see actually too. Then of course we have Syracuse and Houston, which Syracuse, I think I picked them to lose out in the first round because they're going up against San Diego State, who I thought was going to play a lot better offensively. Their defense was actually pretty good, but their offense just couldn't get anything going, and they got slammed by Syracuse, which was cool to see. And then obviously now Syracuse now in the Sweet 16. Their team, who's playing hot, probably hates this sort of weight that they have to sort of wait out on, I guess you could say. And they're going up against, I think, number 2 Houston, which is another really good team. So going back up the bracket to the first game. I don't know if it's the first game showing, but it's the first one shown. Gonzaga and Creighton. Gonzaga 4-0 against top 25 teams, ranked number 1 in the entire nation. Creighton is 3-2 against top 25 teams, ranked, and they are BBI ranked 13th in the bracket. So, if you look at points per game, Gonzaga scores 92 points per game. Creighton scores 77. Let's actually look at some of the March Madness games they played since then. Well, if you wanted to know if Gonzaga could still hold up against sort of top tier talent, they scored almost 90 points. They scored 87 against Oklahoma, which Oklahoma, we all know, was actually a pretty good team this year, and almost 100 points in a college basketball game, which is like definitely never really seen all that often. At least I don't think so, but scored 98 points. That's crazy. So Gonzaga is playing really hot, and Creighton, again, the game against UCSB, their first game, they only won by 1 point, which is why I said it was close until the end because they won. I swear, I'm not gonna say anything, but UCSB should have won that game. I picked the upset. I knew it. I was so 5-head about it, but I was very close. And then they absolutely destroyed Ohio. Obviously, Ohio beating Virginia. My God, I was giving praise to Virginia. I'm like, oh, you know what? Virginia already had their big upset. There's no way that's gonna happen again. Yada yada this, yada yada that. I think I might have jinxed them. I apologize to any Virginia fans. That one's on me. But Gonzaga and Creighton, I know Creighton has beaten out these guys, but I'm not gonna. Gonzaga is literally playing on fire right now, and again, that could hurt because of this break we have. That could hurt a little bit, but I don't think it's really gonna go anywhere. I'm picking Gonzaga. Next up, USC versus Oregon. USC obviously beating Kansas in their last round, and not only beating Kansas, destroying Kansas by 34 points. Kansas barely even scoring 50 points in an entire game. My God, I knew Kansas was not shooting well at all. They were kind of cold that day, but also the defense of USC helped out a lot. They're playing really good, and I can see how they're going to be probably, oh man, they might even be an upset alert, guys, because they might be coming for Gonzaga's number, but we'll get into that. Oregon, like I said, didn't even play their game against VCU. Very sucky what happened to that, but then they go up against a powerhouse in Iowa, I'm still gonna ride the train. I'm telling you guys, USC, better watch out. I'm picking him to beat Oregon. Next up, we have Michigan and Florida State. Now, that is definitely a game where anything can happen. That's definitely a coin flip kind of a game. Obviously, Florida State destroying Colorado. They beat, pretty convincingly UNC Greensboro, which, okay. But definitely their game against Colorado, almost beating them by 20 points, is really nice. Michigan really taking control of both their games against LSU, which was close for a little bit, but then they took control more in the second half of that game. Let's see, like shooting percentage and stuff. They shot 40% from 3, 53% from the field, 80% from the free throw line. They beat them out on the rebounding battle. 22 assists in that game against an 8-assisted team. That's really good. Like, they played really good that game. But I think Florida State probably would have won or had more of a favorable chance if it was like before, where it was just like, they'd play a game, they'd rest, they play a game, they'd rest. That would probably favor Florida State more. But since this big break, I'm gonna give it to Michigan for this one. It's gonna be close, and that's definitely a coin flip one. It's a very what if scenario, but I'm gonna give the doubt to Michigan. Then we have UCLA and Alabama, which, man, obviously UCLA, their bigger competition was BYU, and they handled them pretty okay. I think BYU just had a bad game, and UCLA played a really good game, and that's how they won. Then they had to go up against Abilene Christian, which, no offense, not saying they're a bad team. They beat them by 20 though. So obviously a play-in team that had to play in to even get into March Madness, beating a second-round team by 20 is like, I don't really know how to go off on that. And then Alabama beating a pretty good Maryland team. I actually thought Maryland could upset Alabama, but beating them pretty convincingly, and then beating Iona pretty well as well. So no offense to UCLA, that might be a blowout game. No offense. I'm taking Alabama. We have Baylor, Villanova. Let's see. Villanova going up against North Texas because North Texas beat Purdue, which is, again, how the heck did that happen? That's crazy. And then Villanova only really have to go against Winthrop. I think that's how you pronounce that college name. And North Texas again. No offense, not the biggest, toughest, craziest competition. Baylor did have to go up against Wisconsin, though, in the second round, which was actually a really good game until, again, the end. Baylor started to pull away, started more like Baylor basketball. I think just based off of competition and how the teams are playing and looking like, at least in my opinion, I mean, they almost shot 50% from the three-point line their last game. Baylor did. That's really good. 80% from the line as well. 15 assists. Like, they're looking very good. I'm going to give this one to Baylor. I think that's a safe pick. Then we have Arkansas and Oral Roberts. Obviously, Oral Roberts beating Ohio State and Florida. Two very close games. I watched both those games from start to finish. Wow, that's a crazy team. They're looking really good. I bet they are hating that they have to wait to play this next game because it gives teams time to sort of prep and analyze and look at things and do video and things like that. You don't really get the surprise punch like these teams sort of get in the March Madness early rounds. But Arkansas beating Texas Tech by 2, beating Colgate pretty convincingly. They are looking good, but oh man, this is really, really, really tough. Oh man, Oral Roberts is just shooting the ball super well. Like I said, they're averaging nearly 40% from 3 for the entire season. They shoot over 80% from the line. It's really gonna come down to how well they can perform on offense, and I don't think it's gonna go well. I think, again, the break is going to break this team. I'm going Arkansas. Now we have Loyola Chicago and Oregon State. This one is very interesting, at least in my opinion. Obviously, both these teams are sort of on their Cinderella story arc. and Syracuse beating San Diego State, which is a team I was very high on at the start of the March Madness sort of bracket making. But they let me down in the first round. So, they beat them pretty good. Then they went on to beat a West Virginia team, which was ranked third in their bracket, and they played them very good, actually, beating them by 3. Let's actually check the stats of that game. They shot 51% from the field, 45% from 3. Honestly, this was one of those games where either team could have won, but they just scored more points. They attempted more field goals, so they won out on that. And then Houston almost losing to Rutgers. They almost lost to Rutgers, which in my opinion, a team that I didn't really have a lot of high hopes for, and they almost lost to them. So, you know what? I think I am going to have a little bit of a Cinderella story and picking Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse making it past another round. So in the Elite Eight, we have Gonzaga against USC. And my God, oh man, this is tough. This is really tough. I really like Gonzaga's play, but man, USC, that's crazy. I don't know. You know what? I think I might go USC. It's so hard to think about a team going undefeated. It's only happened a handful of times, not since like 1970s was the last time a team has gone undefeated an entire season, including March Madness. And I'm not saying I'm betting against Gonzaga, because I already did. Obviously, in my first video, I picked Baylor as my champion. We'll see if that is still this sort of thing now, but I think I'm going to pick USC for the upset. I need to pick more upsets, and this is my upset. This year is crazy. I'm picking USC for no particular reason at all. I'm just going to pick them. I have a feeling. Watch out for that one. Then I have Michigan, Alabama. I'm going to pick Michigan. Like I said, really like how Michigan is playing. I like how they played earlier on in their past games. Like I said, being convincingly a pretty good LSU team and shooting the ball very, 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 very well and efficiently, which is really good. Then we have Baylor and Arkansas. I'm gonna have Baylor come out on that. I think Arkansas just doesn't have enough oomph. They're not good enough, on offense and good enough on defense. But I'm picking Baylor. Then we have 2 Cinderella stories coming to an end with Loyola, Chicago, and Syracuse. One of them is getting out. And when it comes to these 2 teams, man, I wonder when the last time a double-seeded team was in the Final Four. Well, I guess it was only a couple years ago, right? Because I think didn't Loyola Chicago make it to the Final Four as like an 11th, 12th seed or something like that? Man, that's crazy. You know what? Oh man, this is so tough. But I think I'm gonna go with Loyola Chicago. I think that's my pick. That might be dumb, but they play so well together. Like, when I watch those guys play, they remind me of like a Spurs team or something like that. I feel like those guys have been together for 7+ years. Like, those guys have been, they look so close, they look so well, coached and everything like that. They look very meshed together. I like how they play. I think they make it all the way to the Final Four. Now, for the Final Four, we have USC and Michigan. That's going to be a really good game. It's really tough to even think that a 1 seed could even make it into the championship game with some of the play I've been seeing, but oh man, I think I'm going to go with Michigan on that one. I think USC is good, but obviously I said this in the beginning of my video. Do not go off of this thinking I'm some sort of college basketball genius. I watch every game. I watch every this and that. I know every player. I know every stat. God, no. This is not NBA basketball where I think I know more in that sort of sense. But in this, I'm going off whims and whiffs and feelings and just what I'm seeing and what I've watched from the past couple games. Just keep that in mind, by the way. But in my second chance tournament challenge bracket, we have Baylor, Michigan. I just think that Baylor, both on offense and on defense, has a better team. I'm going to be picking Baylor as still my NCAA March Madness tournament champions. Another really big thing I look at is sort of opponents' points per game versus year scoring average points per game. If you look at their comparisons, you have Michigan averaging 76 points, Baylor averaging 84 points. Pretty good gap there, but with Michigan opponents averaging 65 points. So if you look at the difference there, it's about a difference of 11. If you look at the difference between Baylor's, you have again them scoring 84 points, opponents' points 66. Almost a 20-point difference in gap, and they both play in very similar talented conferences. So I think on both ends, offense and defense, I'm going to give the edge to Baylor. So that's why I'm really mostly picking Baylor, because I think consistency wise, and obviously we know they're going to get a lot more breaks now. It's not, every other day playing anymore. This will favor Baylor a lot. Getting time to sort of see who they're playing, matchups, things like that. I'm giving the edge to Baylor. For score, I'm gonna go kind of high scoring. I'm gonna go 77 to Baylor to 75. I always do 2 points. I feel like every championship game is really close. I'm gonna go 2 points to Michigan. So yeah, that's it. That's my tournament bracket. I think my 3 champions I would pick would obviously be Baylor. I think my other ones would be Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga still has a really good chance of being a sort of an undefeated season. But my underdog champion. Oh man, my underdogs. I mean, USC has a 6 seed. They're playing really well. I mean, honestly, I think the best chance for like a Cinderella seed would be Syracuse. I think Syracuse has the star sort of power that they have, their offensive power. I think Syracuse does have a chance of winning a title, so if you want to pick like a Cinderella team, I think Syracuse is the bandwagon to hop on. Stay away from like Oregon State. I feel like they're sort of like they sort of caught fire, and now since it's been a bigger break, I think they're kind of extinguished. But anyways, that's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this isn't too long of a video. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but this was a lot of fun, and thank you guys so much for watching this video, and make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much again for 6,000 subs. Like, just picture in a room 6,000 people. Like, that's so many of you guys, so many of you, and just, it's so incredible. So thank